Next, I want to talk again about the Shift and the Option/Alt key, because notice what we did here. When I was adding shapes, so there's my first shape, and I hit the Shift key. I had to hit the Shift key first to then click and drag in order to add to my selection. Well, what I'm doing there is adding the Shift key before I click and drag, right? What happens if I hit the Shift key after I start the click and drag? And here's what it does. So I'm starting all over here. Now notice that at this point I haven't hit the Shift key, but now I will hold down the Shift key, and now my rectangle is now a square. So after you started to draw your rectangle, if you hold down the Shift key, your shape will be constrained to create a square. A similar thing happens, wrong one, if I go to the elliptical marquee here, over here. So I'll start to draw the elliptical, and notice that it's an ellipse. I can do this and I can do this. Yet when I hold down the Shift key after I've started, and I've still got the mouse button down, if I hold down the Shift key, now we're constrained to a circle. Okay, so the Shift key does double duty, as well as the Option/Alt key. It does double duty depending on when you apply it for the shape, before you start clicking and dragging or after you start clicking and dragging. Okay, let's talk about this one. We'll stay with the ellipse here. And notice how this develops. I mean, if you think about it, think about that there's maybe a rectangle around this shape. And essentially, what I've done here is I'm starting at the upper left-hand corner, and as we drag it down, my cursor is kind of at the lower right-hand corner of this ellipse, if you can imagine that rectangle around there. Okay, so what happens if we don't want to start the origin at the upper left-hand corner? Well, that's where we have the Option key. So I'll start clicking and dragging here, and my origin is still up there, and where I am now is the end point. I'll hold down the Option key, and notice what happens now. Now it looks like the origin point is at the center of the ellipse or circle. In fact, I could apply Shift as well, so it constrains that circle to a circle, but the origin is coming from the center. Okay, so if you want to write down what this Option/Alt key means, I think of it just in terms of what is the origin, just origin. Okay, the same thing applies over here to the rectangle. Okay, so there's my rectangle. If I hold down the Option key, now the center of the rectangle is the origin. And again, also, if I hit the Shift key, it will constrain it to a circle. This can come in handy now and again. So it's a good thing to know when to hit Shift and Option when you're creating your shapes.